We have some stunning breaking news. Minutes ago, Donald Trump once again publicly committed an act of egregious corruption. And shortly after, his favorite MAGA influencer, his closest, most personal MAGA advisor, Laura Loomer, a far-right racist and conspiracy theorist, publicly burned the bridge with him and the Republicans and declared that she will not vote to help Trump in the 2026 midterms. This is huge. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, before we get into Laura Loomer's reaction, I've got to show you the announcement itself. It came by way of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. What you're about to watch is the act of public corruption, and we'll get into her reaction and the reaction of the wider world.
No one other than President Trump could have achieved the peace that we believe will be a lasting peace in Gaza. And Qatar played a substantial role from the beginning, working with our folks to ensure that came about. So I want to thank you for that historic piece. We look forward to joining the president as that gets, it's already been delivered, but as that's formally signed as well. And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us.
That was the act of public corruption. The United States government, under the Trump administration, is allowing Qatar, a foreign government, to build a military base in the domestic United States, in the continental United States. And this is the same country that just gifted Donald Trump a $400 million luxury jet that he intends to take with him after he briefly converts it into Air Force One and makes U.S. taxpayers foot the bill, which could be up to $1 billion. Okay, so that's the context. We're going to dive deeper into that, but I want to jump immediately to Laura Loomer. And I should also preface this with the fact that, remember, Laura Loomer is a conspiracy theorist and a racist. So her objections to this comes from the fact that she hates Muslims and she hates Qataris. She hates people from the Middle East, okay? But she still burned the bridge with Trump over this. This is stunning. She says, "Never thought I'd see Republicans give terror financing Muslims from Qatar a military base on U.S. soil so they can murder Americans. I don't think I'll be voting in 2026. I cannot in good conscience make any excuse for the harboring of jihadis. This is where I draw the line." Now, if she had complained about the corruption, the blatant, egregious corruption, or even said that she just doesn't trust the Qatari government, my God, all sorts of people on the left and the right don't trust the Qatari government. Totally understandable. Instead, she takes it to her racist extremes. But she's burning the bridge with Trump over this decision, over this specific decision. And she goes so far as to play a clip of Trump from 2017, throwing Trump's words back in his face. Take a look.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road, or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding.
So, it's Trump, right? Trump says one thing, does another. He does it all the time. He's a pathological liar, and he's inconsistent. Laura Loomer shouldn't be surprised by any of this, that he said one thing and did another. But this apparently is a bridge too far for Laura Loomer, and she's burning it. We'll see what happens. We'll see if she folds and succumbs to pressure. And of course, Trump said these things before, long before, years before, the Qatari royal family gifted him a $400 million luxury jet, which he loves his luxury jets, and said you can take it with you once you leave office, and that's his plan. So, Laura, what do you expect? He's a grifter. He's a narcissist. He's corrupt as hell. She shouldn't be surprised by this 180, is my point. But again, I don't think it's so much the corruption which is pissing her off, other than, and more towards the fact that these, again, that they're Muslims, as far as she's concerned, that this is the bridge too far. How dare you? Again, we'll get into the saner responses from people like Tommy Vitor, Pod Save America, and others, because there are many good reasons to be like, what the hell is this? Not the least of which is it's corruption. It is blatant, egregious corruption. But let's look into some of the responses to Laura Loomer specifically. The Republican Accountability Project says, what Republicans are you talking about, Laura? Who is the president of the United States, Laura, with that meme? Because, of course, she didn't mention Trump by name, even though she threw Trump's words back in his face. Further MAGA fracturing is afoot, which can only mean good things for the country. The movement needs to be flushed down the toilet. First the Tucker and Candace wing, then the MTG wing making noises. Now Loomer, fingers crossed. Let's see. Pedophilia, cool. Racism, fine. Felon, not a problem. Crook, who cares? Sexual assault, who hasn't? Muslims. Now wait a damn minute. This is not what I voted for. Again, making fun of Laura Loomer. Let's see here. Aaron Blake of CNN. Trump has apparently lost Laura Loomer, at least briefly. Again, because it's entirely possible she folds and bends the knee, as most MAGA does. Owen Schroyer, formerly of InfoWars, Alex Jones' podcast. I told you the Middle East would cost Republicans in the midterms. I was attacked and ridiculed. Now here we are, Republicans threatening not to vote in the midterms because of Middle East issues. Never doubt me, folks. Again, conspiracy theorist, not job. But again, we're starting to see a fracture in the MAGA coalition, which is objectively good. So that is responses. Those are responses to Laura Loomer. Let's see about quote tweets, or rather replies. Let's see. I'm agreeing with Loomer, MTG, and Matt Walsh in 1 week. What does this world come to? See, there's always something we can agree on. Let's see. I'm also concerned about foreign influence. Could you share your source on the Qatari military base claim? Again, that is in the video that we just played, or the one that we played at the very beginning. Let's see. All right, now let's get into responses in general to the announcement. So, friend of mine, friend of the show, Jessica Tarlov, says the corruption is so blatant. Rob Flaherty says, what the fuck? Tommy Vitor of Pod Save America says in 2017, Trump accused Qatar of being funders of terrorism, and now the U.S. is going to host a Qatari military base on U.S. soil? Sarah Matthews, formerly of the Trump administration. Yes, I'm sure it's totally unrelated to the $5 billion golf resort the Trumps are building in Qatar and that $400 million luxury plane they got. That's true, too. I forgot about the golf resort, the Trump golf resort. Totally forgot about that. So that's also a corrupt incentive here. This feels like a news item with the potential to actually break through to people. Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, what the actual fuck? Ron Filipkowski of the Midas Touch Network, editor-in-chief, WTFFFFFF. America on Facebook Marketplace, LOL. Qatar gave Trump a 747, and now the country gets to put a base on American soil. Doesn't matter if your country sponsors terror, the plane makes up for the whole thing, apparently. Even our strongest allies don't have this. It tells you that the administration can be bought easy. Midas Touch, excuse me? Brett Mycelis of Midas Touch says, what the fuck is this? Laura Rosen? Oh, man, not good. I'll also point out that Politico is reporting that Republicans rejected a push to block Trump from using the Qatari jet as Air Force One because whatever Daddy Trump wants, he gets. Yeah, this is not good, folks. The reaction to this is pretty intense. People are really upset. I wonder if this will be similar to the aircraft the German Air Force has at the Holloman Air Force Base. The GAF hasn't been training its air crews in the United States since 1958 and moved permanently to Holloman in 1992. Aaron Parnas of the Midas Touch, legal analyst, says, I'm sorry, what? Why are we building an Air Force facility in America for a foreign autocratic government? The Qatari influence over this administration and government is astounding. I mean, we can just keep going, but there you have it, folks. Laura Loomer is publicly torching the bridge with Trump and the Republicans over this, and we'll see what happens in terms of MAGA fallout. I'm not expecting like a widespread exodus from the MAGA movement, but you know, this is a movement that's already underwater with the American people, and so anything that causes them to hemorrhage support, even on the margins, would be objectively good for electing Democrats in the future. There you have it, an egregious act of public corruption from Trump yet again, and it's pissing off even some of the most diehard MAGA in his cult. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.